there's no the Patriots aren't the kings of the East anymore. That crown belongs to the Buffalo Bills, and the Bills are my pick to win the AFC East. That's not a hard pick to make. The Bills had a tremendous year last year, went to the AFC Championship game. They are going to just pick up right where they left off. Josh Allen is a guy that I was a big fan of coming out. I didn't say he was going to be worthy of the number one overall pick. I didn't even have a first-round grade on it. But I thought, here's a guy that's got a lot of potential. If he went to the right fit, he was going to have success. He went to the right fit. He went to the perfect fit, I think, with the Buffalo Bills. And we're starting to see that. And he took a huge step last year. I'm anticipating him taking that next step and continuing to what we saw last year. And I still think even taking it up a new level. I mean, having him and Stephon Diggs, not only is Josh Allen developing, but they got him a true number one receiver. A guy like Stephon Diggs who can be an elite deep threat. He can go up and get the ball. I mean, Stephon Diggs can do whatever you want. And Josh Allen took advantage of that and put up some huge numbers with Stephon Diggs last year. And they added more. Emmanuel Sanders. I don't think Emmanuel Sanders is a guy that's a top flight receiver, but he's still a good quality number two and probably the best second receiver that the Bills have had since Josh Allen has been their quarterback. I mean, just think a couple years ago, Josh Allen was throwing to John Brown and Robert Foster. Now he's got Stephon Diggs and Emmanuel Sanders. Dawson Knox is continuing to develop. I think this offense just continues to get better. Allen's, locked him up long term. And this offense is I think, going to be one of the better offenses in the AFC. Defensively, we know what they are. With Sean McDermott as their head coach, they're always going to have a good defense. They got good linebacker play. They got good secondaries. Tre'Davious White, I think, is the most underrated cornerback in the league. The guy is a complete stud. The biggest issue for them is, did they have that consistent pass rush? They've got some good guys. Star Latuile's with them. They got Ed Oliver. But I'm fascinated to see how their edge guys are this year, especially with the addition of Gregory Rousseau. And I know they took him at the end of the first round, and some people knocked that pick. They didn't like it. They didn't think that Rousseau was worthy of that pick. But here is a guy who opted out. He sat out this past year for whatever reason. I'm not going to fault him for sitting out. He has his own reasons. They're not mine. But as a redshirt freshman, he had 15 sacks. He led the NCAA in sacks. That you don't just get that playing in the AC just by, falling into those sacks. You don't fall into 15 sacks. And so far this preseason, Rousseau's played well. And I think a lot of people are kind of on the fence on him. He beat up on guards in college at times. And then he goes in the combine, or not the combine, his pro day, and he doesn't put up the best numbers. And everyone's like, all right, a second round pick. He's not worthy of the first. But we're seeing that skill set translate. He was a guy that I never really thought. His tape didn't indicate that he was going to win with speed off the edge. He was a guy that was going to, he was kind of like a technician. He was going to use his length. He's going to use his, he's not a bum of an athlete. But I think his development is going to be key. Last year in the second round, they took A.J. Epinesa, a guy that I really liked out of Iowa. And, you got Epinesa, who they're hoping could develop on one side. You got Gregory Rousseau on the other side. You still got Jerry Hughes. You still got a couple other guys that they've had some success with. And I think the Bills, are you getting better? Are you getting worse? And I think the Bills are getting better. Those additions on the defensive line, the additions at receiver, another year. I even mentioned their offensive coordinator, Brian Daboll. Here's a guy that I thought was going to get a head coaching job. And I don't know if it's the fact that they went too deep into the playoffs, and a lot of times teams get antsy and I don't want to wait for this coach to get done with the playoffs. We're just going to go out and hire somebody. And now we got Brian Daboll with yet another year of Josh Allen. He's the one that's gotten Allen to really take those big steps. And so I think that's crucial for the Bills to keep Daboll. I think he's going to have another great year with Josh Allen. And the Bills are a true Super Bowl contender. You got the Chiefs and you got the Bills. I think those two teams are the cream of the crop in the AFC.